All right, guys. So imagine this. When I grew up, I was born in '67, so I grew up in the '70s. We didn't really have video games, no such thing as cell phones. Hell, the internet wasn't even invented back then. And I had a pretty happy childhood. I ran outside, I played, played baseball, I climbed trees, played tag in the neighborhood. I grew up without all that stuff, and generally I was pretty happy. And when I hear people saying, how can you be happy on a diet that consists of primarily just a handful of foods? Don't you miss all the variety? Aren't you sad you can't have cheesy poofs or whatever? Or there's 65 different restaurants. Well, you realize that throughout most of our human existence, none of that stuff existed, and people were as happy as probably they are now. Perhaps in some cases happier. Now again, certain cases there was abject poverty, right? But I mean, assuming you're not in abject poverty and you're not in pain and suffering, you don't need all this tremendous variety as a definition of happiness. In fact, many people are happier without all this stuff, with all the confusion, all the the anxiety that produces because there's too much stimulatory overload. There's too much stuff to choose from. So for those that are critical of someone on a carnivore diet and saying, oh, you're just going to get bored, and that's why you don't eat as much, I'm not particularly bored. I enjoy immensely what I eat. I've got a ribeye steak fired up there in the sous vide right now. I'm gonna thoroughly enjoy that today. But I don't necessarily miss that other stuff, and I have a lot of things to do outside of it. Somebody's critical saying, "Oh, well, isn't your life just boring, just eating meat all day?" That's a fraction of what my life is. I enjoy the fact that I'm learning new skills and I'm practicing and becoming a better athlete, and I get to go all around the world meeting people and talking about health. I do enjoy talking about that as my vocation, as it is. So I do spend a lot of time talking about the benefits of health, trying to improve people's lives through diet, nutrition, exercise, trying to inspire people. So anyway, just a thought about what could you live with. What you actually really need. It's not a matter of becoming a minimalist. I mean, in many ways, by cleaning up your diet, you're actually maximizing other aspects of your life, right? How much more enjoyment is life when you're not suffering in pain or suffering from some chronic disease? I mean, it's enormous. And so I think the trade-offs for me are well worth it. The fact that I don't eat the latest blue food or drinking bubble tea or all this crap that never existed, or go to different types of restaurants is of minimal importance, right? I think what's really important is that you fully live in a body and mind that is as it's designed and as close to hopefully optimal function as you possibly can for as long as you can. I mean, this is the thing. It isn't a longevity thing. I always sort of shake my head and kind of laugh at these people saying they're longevity gurus. If you're 100 years old, maybe you've got some maybe you got some credence on whether you're a longevity guru. But until that time, it's all purely speculation. Yeah, it sells books. Yeah, it makes for interesting podcasts. Yeah, you can sell some supplements, but is that what it's really about? For some people, it is. Let's make as much money as we can so we can enjoy our life, I suppose. I guess that's one way to do it. But again, for those that say, don't you get bored of your diet? Or my answer is no, I don't. I honestly don't. I thoroughly enjoy every meal. Every meal is great. Every meal tastes good. How many meals have you had that weren't that good? All right, probably most of us. Most of the meals we have are kind of boring and, breakfast cereal, the same old muffin, the same old. Even people that have a lot of variety in their diet kind of rotate to the same foods over time. It may shift a little bit here and there, but they keep eating the same stuff. I know one's complaining about having to breathe the same oxygen percentage in the air, right? Same shit every day. I'm breathing the same air. Oh my God, my life is so miserable. I wish I had different flavored oxygen to breathe, All right, guys, let me know what you guys think about that. How many of you guys grew up before? What did you guys grow up before existed, and how did you do without it? All right, we'll talk to you soon.